And we start off with the 110-meter hurdles, and we certainly have one of the superstars of European athletics in action in this event. Colin Jackson, who's here commentating for the BBC, holds those records. We hone in on the first of the semi-finals, from which the first two will go through to the final, and the next two. And the final is at 9:35 rather, this evening as well. So the athletes just beginning to be introduced to the crowd. We have Hassan Fofana of Italy on the outside, and Konstantinos Doufoulidis of Greece next to him. Will no doubt go formally through them in a moment or two. Just a little way, the hurdles just being checked for absolute accuracy at the moment. Meticulous precision with which the hurdles are put out on the track every time. There we are, that's another one checked. Michael Obasui of Belgium on the inside. Still lots of spectators coming in, but this is the man I referred to as one of the superstars, Sergei Shubenkov, surely the world #1 currently in the men's 110-meter hurdles and the clear favorite for the title. Shubenkov there in lane 3. So then, let's go through this lineup. On the inside, we have Michael Obasui of Belgium, 18 years of age, 4th in the recent World Junior Championships. He's run a best of 13.75, one of the rising stars of Belgian athletics. They could well have a triumph, likely to have a triumph later today. In lane 2, one of the veterans in this event, 30 years of age, Artur Noga. He was the silver medalist back in 2012. Former European Junior Champion back in 2007 as well. Bidding for his 4th European final. Shubenkov, well, he's got a complete set of World Championship medals. He's got 3, 1, 2 in the last 3 editions of that event. Russian, competing as an authorized neutral athlete, winner of the last 2 Diamond League meetings in which he's contested as well. Gregor Traber, twice the German champion, including this year. Roar goes up from the crowd, as we'll have for every German who's introduced. Traber twice a semi-finalist before in the European Championships. Aurel Manga, well, banging his arm there. He's a World Indoor finalist. He's got the World Indoor bronze this year, 2018. Next we have from Belarus, Vitaly Barakonko, twice the Belarusian champion, both indoors and out the last couple of seasons. Konstantinos Doufoulidis, the oldest in the field at 31, no less than 17 Greek hurdles titles, 11 outdoors and 6 indoors. Former finalist back in 2012, he was 8th. And Hassan Fofana of Italy, 4 times the Italian champion outdoors, 3 times indoors, and with a best of 13.50. First 2 sure to go through, and undoubtedly Shubenkov is the very, very clear favourite, not only for this race, but also for the final when we come to it. Who will get second? Well, we'll see, but it could be Manga, perhaps, from France, but the German crowd will be urging on their man, Gregor Traber. So they settle into their blocks for this, the first action of the evening session here in the Berlin Olympic Stadium. Obasui of Belgium, Noga of Poland, Shubenkov, the Russian, Traber of Germany, Manga of France, Barakonko of Belarus, Doufoulidis from Greece, and Fofana from Italy. Well, away they go. Good start by Noga, but now Shubenkov getting clearly into his running, but Traber is running excellently. Shubenkov and Traber, and Manga's got a bit of work to catch up on those two if he's going to. And a wonderful run by Shubenkov, but a wonderful one by Traber in getting second place. May well have run a personal best there. Well, a season's best, I should say, 13.35. He has run 13.21, a little outside. He's got 13.26. Fine run by Traber. to come in behind Shubenkov, who ran 13.24 there. Well, that gets a good start for the crowd. 0 wind on that occasion, and I'm sure they thrilled Michel to see Traber get second place.
Absolutely. I mean, he was pretty good in the age group and has never really quite translated that onto the senior ranks. And I think he's definitely the most promising German in these hurdles. There, as we can see, he's had a fantastic start there, ahead of Shubenkov, and now Shubenkov really getting into the swing of things and is showing that he's really strong over those last few hurdles. And Manga there just got too much ground left to make up on these two leaders.
So Manga timed in 13.45, and we'll be keeping an eye out for that time when we look at who's going to be the next two fastest. By Manga's lights, just a little bit short of his season's best of 13.31. Shubenkov and Traber through safely to the final, which will be later today, just over a couple of hours away.
And there we can see the men in the hot seats, and this is something that the organizing committee here have introduced to make it easier for the fans and for us to see who is currently the fastest time qualifier. And there we can see Aurel Manga and Hassane Fofana.
Now focusing our attention on the second heat of the men's 110 meters hurdles semi-final. Looking at a man who had a great run in qualifying, Paolo Dalmolin. Reduced his personal best at 31 years of age to 13.40. This is the fastest man in the field, the Spaniard Orlando Ortega. Best of 12.94. This season hasn't been quite in that same form. Indeed, Ortega hasn't actually won a hurdles race until he won the Spanish title just 3 weeks ago.
Earlier we saw Andrew Pozzi, of course, who was a brilliant winner of the indoor title, but has had mixed fortunes outdoors.
Yes, nevertheless, he's got a season's best of 13.29, so certainly should be up there in the battle for the 2 automatic qualifying spots. And just as a reminder, 2 automatic qualifying spots in each of the 3 semi-finals, followed by 2 further qualifiers on time.
There is Pozzi, and of course his partner competing in the heptathlon 800 meters later, Katarina Johnson-Thompson.
Nice shot through the hurdles there. Well, Ortega hasn't really got the best of major championship records. He was highly favoured in last year's World Championships to get amongst the medals, and in the end drifted back to finish 7th. But this is the 25-year-old Finnish champion, Elmo Laka, has improved his best this year to 13.67. It looks like Dalmolin, who should be in lane 2. I think they're looking at his equipment or strapping up his thigh, perhaps. So he's going to be rushing to get to his marks, but the world indoor champion from Birmingham earlier this year on home soil, Andrew Pozzi, is in lane 3. Big cheers from the large British contingent in the crowd. 2016 Olympic finalist Milan Trajkovic from Cyprus. The Dutch champion in lane 5 is Koen Schmed, another man who's improved his personal best this year, 13.53. Did that in Belgium back in June. And the man we've talked about a little bit, Orlando Ortega, the Spanish champion, 7th in the World Championships last year, making his debut in the European Championships. Just got cleared to run for Spain between the European Championships and the Olympics in 2016. This is a 2-time European Championships medalist. Garfield Darien of France, not quite as quick as he was a few years ago. And on the outside, another German hurdler, Alexander John. 32 years of age now, 4th back in 2012 at the Europeans. And big cheers from the crowd here. Oh, Delmalin's got patched up and he's taken his place in lane 2. And gets due attention from the presenters. So the blanks that you saw there on the left-hand side of your screen for Trajkovic, Pozzi and Ortega indicate that they didn't run in yesterday's first round. They were directly seeded into these semi-finals. Mixed feelings about whether we should be seeding people. That's a matter of debate for later. So as they settle into their blocks from the inside. Second semi-final. Laka, Dalmolin, Pozzi, Trajkovic, Smet, Ortega, Darian and John. And Ortega's away quickly, so too is Dalmolin. Now Dalmolin starting to drift back, but Ortega running well, and Pozzi starting to get into his stride. Ortega and Pozzi are neck and neck at this stage. Ortega just gets it, Pozzi second. And I think Alexander John came through for third on the outside in lane 8.
I think it was the Frenchman, Darian, there.
And for those of us who have followed Pozzi's fortunes in a series of difficult runs, he was immaculate there in his hurdling. I mean, Ortega, we more expected it, but for Pozzi to run 13.28, and that is a season's best, very encouraging, not least, I say, the absolute superb way in which he cleared the hurdles.
Looking at it again, it's Ortega out very quickly. It takes Pozzi about 4 barriers to get up to the shoulder of Ortega. Darian comes through well on the outside.
I think Pozzi looked very good there indeed, really got out the blocks well. As you mentioned, Peter, very clean race there from him and very relieving for him. And of course, we see now there in third, Garfield Darian. He got 13.46, and in that previous heat, 13.45, his compatriot Orel Manga had, which means the Italian Hassan Fofana won't make it to the final. So for now, we have 2 Frenchmen in the hot seats with 13.45 and 13.46.
And a man who will also feel pleased with his performances at these championships, Laka of Finland. He improved his personal best. Always nice to get a personal best at the championship, even though he won't progress to the final, which is later on this evening, the penultimate event on the track.
There we have another replay. And you can see Pozzi there already very good right from the start. So he was very close with Ortega there.
Now we're getting replays from every angle.
And there you can see Alexander John really having not a great race, so won't be joining his compatriot, Gregor Traber.
There's the results. Ortega and Pozzi confirmed, 13.21 and 13.28 respectively. Darian moves into what's now been christened the hot seat with his time of 13.46.
And we take a look at the third semi-final here. In lane 1 for Norway, the Norwegian record holder, Vladimir Vukicevic. Next to him in lane 2, finished second behind Andrew Pozzi in the British Championships and won the the British title last year, David King. Next to him in lane 3 is the European indoor champion for 2015, Pascal Martineau-Lagarde. Won the World Junior title in 2010, the Frenchman. There we have the European Junior champion from last year, competing for Switzerland, Jason Joseph. very big Swiss supporter group here in the stadium. As we take a look at Poland's Damian Szekir, who finished 4th at the last European Championships in Amsterdam. Next to him, competing for Hungary, he won bronze at last year's World Championships in London, Balázs Bázsi. Next to him, the Mediterranean champion for this year, Lorenzo Perini, competing for Italy. And on the outside lane, the 3rd German here in these semi-finals, qualified with 13:55, finished 2nd at the German Championships. Really good indoor runner, Erik Balneveld. So these are the 2 men currently in the hot seats. They're holding their ticket to the final in the hand, but they might have to give it up if other runners in 3rd and 4th finish ahead of them in this final semi-final. So from the inside lane out, Vukicevic, King, Martino Lagarde, Joseph, Szekir, Bázsi, Perini and Balneveld. Martino Lagarde here, probably the favorite, has run fastest. He's the only man in this field to have gone sub 13 in his career, but that was way back in 2014 when he set his personal best. And they get away cleanly. The pole looks good, and already out there, really strong, Martino Lagarde, the Frenchman, really pulling away from the rest of the field there. And Bázsi now coming through there in lane 6. So it's Pascal Martino Lagarde and Balázs Bázsi, the 2 guaranteed time for this heat, 13:32, the unofficial time for Pascal Martino Lagarde. Bázsi in 13:41. And now it's interesting what the next 13:45, which means that Garfield Darien, with his 13:46, has to say goodbye here to Aurel Manga. Darien is out, and Szekir is in. There.
Accompanying Manga.
From the look on Szekir's face, I think he already knew what the previous non-fastest automatic qualifiers were already doing.
And you can see there what a great start from Martino Lagarde. Gets out like a storm, and really clean race there from him. He's not had the most consistency, isn't the Frenchman. Now is when Balázs Bázsi comes through, and we've seen it from him last year at the World Championships when he just managed to get that bronze at World Championships, and here his strong finish coming through.
And Bázsi makes his 3rd successive European final.
Looks like Martino Lagarde cut himself there. He's bleeding. There are the 2 tickets to the final. I don't know what you think about that, but I think it's a really nice addition too. Here we have it.
Giving them those tickets, and otherwise they'd sort of be in limbo somewhere in the call room or the warm-up area, or going back to the warm-up track, and wouldn't necessarily know whether they got through. Here, they just have to wait a few minutes and they find out for sure.
There we have all 8 finalists confirmed. Ortega leading the field with 13:21, and then the last 2 qualifiers there with 13:45.